what's up guys? Best in West here, and today's the day. Twilight Cup is upon us here in El Cerrito. We're going to have it at the same place we had the Boulder Cup, which is Pt1. I made some last minute changes. I swapped out Quillfish with Umbreon that I got from Gabby from Richmond. Special shout out to her. She's always hooked it up with great Pokemon that I can use for PvP or whatever I need. She's like my Pokemon fairy godmother, so special shout out to her. Yeah, it looks like from the last time I looked at the list of participants, it was going to be around 15 people. So a little bit more than last time in El Cerrito, but less than the Berkeley Boulder Cup that I participated in maybe about a month ago. Pretty excited, pretty nervous. The other change that I made to my lineup was that I'm thinking about changing my flamethrower on my Skuntank to a poison move because I know Umbreon can take out the Venomoth and the Dustox, which the flamethrower was mainly used for. I think Crunch will do okay against like the poison jabbers, and by poison jabbers I mean the Lowland Muck or another Skuntank or a Drapion. So hopefully it works out for me. I'm gonna head over to the site right now. I'll catch you guys later. Yes, I am. Okay, so it looks like we're about to get this tournament started. Everyone's checked in. We end up with about 18 people in this tournament, which is a good amount more than the last tournament. So we'll see how it goes. Hopefully I end up on top, or maybe Zay over here will repeat as champion, but we'll have to see. Okay, so it looks like I got bye round. I actually didn't want that. I wanted to get the first round out of the way, and also you lose a lot of tiebreaker points if you get the bye match. So pretty much I'm kind of just crap out of luck. Okay, so I'm here with Frog Red Cloud. He's my next matchup. Yeah, did you win your first round?
Yeah, I won.
He won his first round, so I got the bye, so technically I won as well, but we'll see how it goes. We're about to get into it. Do you want to send the invite first, or do you want me to send the invite?
No problem.
Okay, so looking at his team, I see a few interesting Pokemon. Mightyena and Crawdon. Those aren't Pokemon that I was expecting to see, but I'm pretty sure I can deal with them with the Pokemon that I'm using. So I look at his team and try to analyze which Pokemon I'm most worried about, or which Pokemon can I best counter. So looking at Mightyena, I can counter that with Toxicroak. Crawdon, I can counter with Toxicroak. Alolan Muck, I can counter with Toxicroak. So I lead off with Skuntank, and I chose Toxicroak and Azumarill. Pretty much all my matches, I believe, I use Skuntank and Azumarill. But anyways, lead off with Skuntank. I get my Crunch off. I'm running up against Venomoth. My goal right here is to just deal as much damage or use as much shields as I can. So he gets a Silver Wind off. I decide not to block that because I knew I had one more Crunch. And he's going to knock me out right here, but he did use a shield. So I have shield advantage right now. I go ahead and send Toxicroak in because I know one counter will knock him out. He uses Silver Wind, but it's not very effective. He sends in a Alolan Muck. I get my Mud Bomb off almost immediately. He goes ahead and shields that. He has no more shields. I have 2 shields, so I definitely should win this matchup. I go ahead and use Mud Bomb again. He sends out Azumarill. Now, I'm going to lose this one just from bubbles. I wish I got that Mud Bomb off, but it's okay. I send in my Azumarill. Now I have 2 shields. He has none. I go ahead and let that Ice Beam go. I should definitely win this mirror match. I just go ahead and block this right here. He uses Ice Beam. I go ahead and use Play Rough, which will deal neutral damage to his Azumarill. And the mention was we're having a bubble party. I go ahead and get my second Play Rough off. Again, dealing neutral damage. He's going to use his charge move, but it doesn't matter what it is. I'm going to block it anyways. He goes ahead and uses Play Rough. Bubble party again. I'm just gonna finish him off with an ice beam. Doesn't really matter at this point. So yeah.
Alright.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was like, wait, what?
Alright, GG, that was round 1. I took it. We ended up in a Azumarill mirror match, but I had the shield advantage. So that probably propelled me to the win on that one. But okay, so so you'll scan my code now. That's cool.
Okay, so getting into the second match, I'm looking at his team, and I don't think he's going to use Mightyena or Groudon. So I'm just looking at Alolan Muk, Venomoth, and Crobat, and Azumarill, of course. So because I have the security of winning that first match, I decide to try something out. I know Frostlass will win against 3 of those 4 Pokemon. So I go ahead and put in Frostlass, Skuntank, and Azumarill. Like I mentioned before, Skuntank and Azumarill are pretty much constants in each of my lineups in this tournament. So send out Frostlass against Crobat. So this is a super positive matchup for me, in my opinion. Powder Snow charges so much energy, and if he doesn't block this, it's going to knock him out, which he doesn't. Instantly knocks him out. He sends in Muk, and it was doing a lot of damage. It has Bite, so I go ahead and switch into Azumarill. Azumarill go ahead and use Ice Beam. He decides not to shield that. He gets off a charged move. I go ahead and shield this. Dark Pulse. I should not have blocked it, but it's okay. I go ahead and get another Ice Beam off. He decides not to block that one either. So he's left with Azumarill. Azumarill mirror match. I have 1 shield, he has 2. But I have 3 Pokemon, he has 1. I go ahead and use Play Rough. He's probably going to block that one. Yep, he blocked it. He's going to use Play Rough. I'm not going to block this. So it goes back and forth again. I get an Ice Beam off. I don't know why. Oh, yeah, that's why. Because I wanted to bait his shield, which he ended up shielding because he has no other Pokemon. He goes ahead and uses Play Rough. I shield that. Now I'm at 0 shields. I'm going to go ahead and use this Play Rough. He has no more shields. He's going to get a charge move off. Ice Beam. That's going to pretty much knock me out. He gets a couple more bubbles, a few more energy hits in. I send in Frostlass. I'm going to get Shadow Ball off. This should knock him out.
Good amount of damage, and I think that's GG. GG, man.
Nice.
Alright, so that was the second round. I came out on top. I got a little bad switch at the end with Frostlass going up against Azumarill, but I was able to pull it out. My Frostlass had just enough damage, just enough health to charge up that Shadow Ball and not hit that heavy neutral damage. Thank you again for the match, and good luck with the rest of the tournament.
Hold on, bro.
Okay, so we just got matched up. It's interesting. I was like watching him like make his team, but we got matched up in the 3rd round. Here it is, editor guy. So you're 2-0 right now?
Yeah, 2-0.
2-0. All right, I'm gonna move the camera over to the side. 2-0, and I'm 2-0, but I got the bye.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, so looking at his team, I spend a little bit of time looking at his team trying to figure out what Pokemon to use. So right now I'm just counting counters, right? So Golbat counters Gloom, Venomoth, and Toxicroak. Toxicroak counters Frostlass, T-Tar, Gloom, and Toxicroak. So if I'm correct, I lead off with Golbat because Gloom is only good as a lead because if it has Razor Leaf, then it's going to just cut through those shields. It's not going to affect those shields. It's just going to deal damage straight to the Pokemon. So I end up going, so Golbat, Toxicroak, Azumarill. Azumarill is just so tanky. It'll beat Toxicroak, T-Tar. It'll mirror match against Azumarill. It'll beat Gloom with shields. It'll beat Frostlass with shields, or I think it'll just beat Frostlass in general. So, yep, exactly what I expected. Gloom versus Golbat, Golbat versus Gloom, the Razor Leaf will deal not very effective damage against Golbat because it is flying and it's poison. So I bait the shield off with the Poison Fang. I charged my energy up as if I had a Shadow Ball, and then I used Poison Fang. So I use Shadow Ball, he goes ahead and shields that with Frostlass. I switch out of Golbat to Azumarill, so this is a favorable matchup that I talked about earlier. So I'm going to go ahead and charge up energy, use Play Rough, which deals a lot of damage to Frostlass. Frostlass had to use the shield earlier because Shadow Ball would have wrecked it. Go ahead and knock out Frostlass with my Azumarill's Bubble. I have some energy built up. I didn't want to take the risk, so I went ahead and blocked that. I use Ice Beam right here against Gloom. This will deal super effective damage. He will send in T-Tar. T-Tar will take super effective damage with my Bubble, and in hindsight, I should have used Play Rough. For some reason, I had the idea that T-Tar is weak against ice because it's ground. It's not ground, it's rock. So please keep that in mind. You'll see that mistake, but it didn't cost me the round.
Alright, so that was the first round. First match, I was able to knock out his team. My Azumarill did some work, but I think it was just more of matchups and me guessing correctly. But on to the second match.
Okay, getting into the second match, I don't think he's going to end up starting with Gloom, seeing that it didn't work for him, so I think he's going to change something up. I'm not quite sure what. So, assuming Gloom is out, he's going to lead with something else. I honestly don't know, but I know that pretty much all his other Pokemon are weak against Toxicroak. So, outside of Azumarill, right? Azumarill would be the worst case scenario if I lead off with Toxicroak. And if so, then I'll get a couple punches in, build up some energy, and then switch out. So that's what I do. I lead with Toxicroak. I believe I bring in Azumarill and Umbreon. Umbreon will counter a few of his Pokemon. So let's see how this plays out. So Toxicroak versus Umbreon. I build up some energy and switch into Azumarill. So now it's a mirror match, right? His Azumarill has some damage on it, but mine has less energy. So he gets a Play Rough off. I'm going to get my Play Rough right here. That's going to do. He's not going to block that. I didn't block mine. So at this point, I'm thinking he might just be copying me. So if he's copying me, if I get this Ice Beam off, he's going to shield this. So if he shields it, it's advantage for me. Yep, he shields it, advantage for me. So I saved maybe 10 energy right there. So he's going to get Play Rough off. I'm not going to shield because it looks like I can only get one more Play Rough off anyways. So I get this Play Rough off. He blocks it. I think to myself, like, do I think I'm going to get another Play Rough off? I might. So I decide to shield it anyways. So I use another Play Rough. And that knocks him out because he has no more shields. So he sends in Frostlass. This is a bad matchup for me. But I do have a good matchup, which is Umbreon. So Umbreon versus Frostlass. Frostlass charges so fast, gets an avalanche off on my Umbreon, does huge neutral damage. He gets another one off. Again, huge neutral damage, but luckily Umbreon is very tanky. I get a Foul Play off, deals super effective damage, knocks him out. Now Toxicroak is going to knock out my Umbreon. I think, okay. I have some energy charged up on my Toxicroak. Send it in, Mud Bomb. This will pretty much knock him out.
Oh shoot, GG. So I was able to take that second match as well. My Toxicroak came in and bam, that Mud Bomb, the energy that I stored up from the first matchup against, what was it, Azumarill, was able to charge up because I knew you had some charge from that match. But yeah, that charged energy played a huge role in that matchup. And yeah, I came out on top, but good game. Like, you had me nervous the whole time, man. Good game, good game.